2, ready to engage, over.
Alright, looks like I beefed up the trailer. Shall we give that another go? One way or the other, we will get things going. Sorry to get you guys off to a weird start. Shall we get the trailer for SATAC running the way that we expect? Hey? Hey? I assume that you guys want to see it. It's such a good video. Such a good video. Yes, let's. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it, Daddy Flanker. Hello, Fresh Coma. Thank you for the follow, DS Player and Edge Rider 7. I think the last round is still going, so we will just get things running here. And if I add this. What am I looking for? I'm looking for go this. We do this. Does this work? No, there's no audio. Never mind. It's time to vamp. Let's go. Hey, the missiles aren't going to work today. Mika, if you're able to turn off the redeems, that would be great. Can you guys hear me okay? Is everything sounding as expected? Hey, good job. You know how it is. Okay. Yes, you can hear me. You can hear me. Fantastic. Well, I'm wondering what I have done wrong with... You think I have that power as a mod? Presumably. I don't know. What am I looking for here? If I do... I've actually stumped myself with how I meant to do this. I had everything set up correctly. It was working as expected. Let's have one more go. If it doesn't work, then we'll give it another try later.
Наблюдаю, работаю по ней. Десятка наблюдает? Нет?
How cool is that? It's cool, right? Alright guys, welcome to SATAC 2022. This is the premier aviation competition happening within the DCS world. We're getting everything set up. Alright, now I need to just communicate with the teams. We're figuring out which side each person should be starting from at the moment. Let me get the music playing on in the background, though I don't have a premium Spotify account, so I think right now it's just an ad for Money Supermarket. Alright, they've called heads. Coin, flip a coin, and it is tails. Okay, no worries, and they have picked the sides that they want. We're going to switch over to the battle screen. The talking flanker. You like it? There we go. Okie dokie, how are we looking? Is everything showing up? Apparently not. Because I messed this up. There we go. It wouldn't be airshow streaming without a bit of scuff. But the teams are ready to get started. We have everyone spawning in and taking their positions. We have, on the blue team, we have TMC, the Motley Crew. You're doing good, shush. TMC, the Motley Crew. And on the red team, we have SPQR. Both of these teams are enormously experienced, however, the Motley Crew did suffer a little bit with struggling to find their full team while they are looking for people, so they're potentially having to bring in one or two mercenaries. Meanwhile, we have SPQR moving along. Now, I do believe that I installed everyone's skins, but it doesn't look like all of them went in. Maybe I didn't set them right up correctly, but here we have... There we go. We have the SPQR skins for SPQR. We'll turn down DCS just a little bit. You would volunteer. Okay, make sure that the levels are good. We have SPQR starting up their F-18 Hornets. With their gorgeous, gorgeous liveries. And moving along the runway. So who have we got on SPQR? We have Alpha Gator, Assassin, Praetorian, Grug, the Gopnik Tsar, and DS Player. And over on the blue team, we have TMC Mori, Kingston, Tail, Geralt of Riviera coming in as a mercenary, and Beanbag Ninja. Now, let me just adjust my options here for a second. What is it I'm looking for? What's the option that makes it so that they don't appear just as Fs? They have shapes on them. I know what it is, but I forgot what it is. Hello, 104th Tiger. Thank you for the raid. I hope that the last round went smoothly. We have everyone starting up, getting moving. Looks like we have J11s for TMC. C. Starting up with some R77s, R27 ETs on the wings. Now, there are limitations to the amount of ordnance that you can bring. You are not allowed any more than 4 Fox 3 missiles, semi-actives. So as you can see here, the Hornets are bringing Fox 3s on 2 double-stack pylons, and we have changing the logos from NATO to Russian. I thought you could do that within the server, but we'll see how things go. Maybe after this round I can swap them around. But in the meantime, we will be just fine. And thank you for the follow, 104 Pyromaniacs. So obviously, the Hornets have brought their 4 Fox 3s and M120Cs along with Sparrows on the centerline points, and they've decided that's all they want. Who else have we got here? We've got the F-16s, not yet loaded up. We have TMC bringing a Hornet along, plus the wing-mounted fuel tanks. J-11s are bringing 2 R-77s, 2 R-27 ERs, rather, and 2 R-27 ETs, along with 7 R-73s. No AIM-9Xs either, so we have AIM-9Ms on the wingtips, slightly diminished in their performance. Now that's a strange loadout we've got going on here. Who have we got here? We have all 4 AMRAMs on the right wing of DS Player, with an eclectic mix of 4 AIM-9Ms, with 2 of them being on the left hardpoint, plus an asymmetrical fuel load. Something about that causes my head to spin, but you know what? We'll let them slide for the moment. These are people who know what they're doing. The SPQR group do pride themselves on not necessarily being a strictly milsim group of people. They fly and fight to win within multiplayer, and if that means not learning the NATOPs, then you don't have to learn the NATOPs. Is he carrying harms? No, these are Sparrows. Goofy R loadout. We've got everyone lining up and looking good. Not all of them have foregone the ECM pods. It looks like Morey's bringing along the ECM pods on the wingtips in lieu of 2 extra R-73s. If you bring 1 ECM pod, you have to bring them both. It's like Gibraltar Riviero's bring the ECM pods as well. Looks like SPQR have all got themselves nicely in the gameplay setting tab. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, I'll do that after this match. So... looks like SPQR is nearly fully occupying the runway. We have 3 FA-18s, 1 JF-17, and 2 F-16s. Now, one of the quirks of this competition is that once you've locked in your plane picks for the match, you can only stick with the planes that you have chosen. So, 3 F-18s, 2 F-16s, and a JF-17. We have 4 J-11s, plus a Hornet, plus an F-16, so it is asymmetrical all the way through. Everyone's lining up and getting ready. Once they take off and enter the centerline circle that fights on, you can't leave. And our check is done. If they're within 5 minutes If they exit the circle, then they lose. Up until they enter the circle, they can make up for mistakes if they brought the wrong loadout or something like that. Then they have the opportunity to land again and get ready again. But once you're in the circle, there is no leaving. And how are we doing? How are we feeling? Okay. SPQR is reporting ready. And for TMC. All the engines are turning and burning. We can only wait for TMC to make sure that they are all ready to go. We've got Mika in chat performing bot-killing duties, TMC ready. Okie dokie, everyone says that they are good to go. It's up to me to give them the order to get schmoovin'. So, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All of the power rests in my hands, I know, and it's intimidating to say the least. It looks like SPQR is doing a staggered startup, letting their two F-18s that are getting started take the lead as the JF-17 and the second Hornet are beginning their takeoff run. Ooh. Now this Hornet, for Grug, has elected not to take any AIM-9s on the wingtips and instead carry 4 on the centerline hardpoints, which is a curious mix. Gear up. It is a good-looking livery. I'm not sure if I have all of the liveries installed correctly. I did download all of the liveries for TWC and for SPQR. So I don't know if the players haven't got them assigned, or if alternatively I got my installation messed up. I will make sure to test as time goes on. It's already too good for your taste, oh my goodness. Mika needs these things to be taken seriously. Now, as these guys take off, we have the Motley Crew and SPQR. Now, SPQR says that they take DCS semi-seriously and want to hone their skills without all the hassle of a full-blown milsim squad. We're not milsim, we are kill sim, which I think is a wonderful term. And TMC calls themselves largely UK-US based, but with members from all over the world, including Chile, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, South Africa, Switzerland, and Australia. And the team was formed at the end of the Diamond League for SATAC 2020, around March 2021, after both Tail and Kingston departed from their previous factions. Yes, I did download SPQR liveries for the Jeff and for the F-16 as well, so fingers crossed that I didn't just install them wrong. Okie dokie, we have everyone moving in their respective directions. Not enough time has really passed to be able to tell whether or not they're going to be staying in a we do serious fun. I love that attitude. Absolutely love it. Not enough time has passed to be able to tell whether or not these guys are going to be going together in close formation. I know that in the first matches, several of the teams elected to approach the battle from a very, very close perspective, sticking in close formation. And speaking of which, it looks like we have 2 aircraft that are staying quite close to each other. For SPQR, we have Assassin, and we have Alpha Gator sticking within a couple of 100 feet of each other, while the rest of them split off into 2 separate groups, going to the north and to the south. For our boys over here, and in fact, let's switch this to satellite view so we can better see things. Fish was the one who made the SPQR liveries. Nice! we have the entirety of the TMC group progressing up, and in fact, these guys are sticking together like glue. Excellent formation flying. And we have the added benefit of Maury sharing his ECM with his partner just off to his left. That explains why not all of them brought ECM pods. They're going to be sticking together. So we'll see how that works out for them. J11s, friends of the Su-27 family, but upgraded in the sense that they can carry the venerable R-73 missile. But that, with that having had been said, it looks like Maury has decided not to bring any R-73s at all, and has elected to go for 4 R-27ERs, which is an interesting choice, but I'm sure they have their reasons, whereas the buddy over here is bringing along 2 R-77s. Have we got anyone getting into the circle yet? It looks like both teams are about ready to enter. The cross-section of the circle is around about 90 nautical miles, or in fact 113 nautical miles, or 90 miles across. And once they're in, they're in. There is no coming back. No doubt they'll be talking out and hashing the last bits of their plans as they prepare to enter the circle and engage in some serious fighting. So, the southern group of SPQR looks like they're about to cross the threshold, and the northern group of TMC looks like they're about to join in on the threshold as well. Once they're in, they're in. This is the lead group of FA-18s, sticking together at around about 30,000 feet. Bringing an F-16 is a bit of a disadvantage with how many missiles there's F-18s and Su-27s. This is why there's the limitation of only 4 Fox 3 missiles. And as you can see, the F-18s have not brought the full complement of missiles, even if they could have filled out a bit more of the wings with some additional Sparrows and AIM-9s. They obviously felt the need was not urgent. Red has taken control of battle area. SPQR is the first one to enter, but the Blues are seconds behind. So the battle area is contested. Now if they leave and allow the opponents to occupy the zone uncontested for a period of time, then the match goes straight to them. So we have an F-18 and a J-11. The J-11's at 36,000 feet, right up there at the top, while the F-18 is hovering just below 30,000 here for TMC. Good ranges for their missiles. I really like this loadout for Beanbag Ninja with his 2 Sparrows, and for AIM-120Cs, he's elected for the wing fuel tanks, so he will probably be attempting to use some of that fuel to gain a little bit of speed when it comes to launching his AIM-120Cs. The southern group for SPQR is progressing over the top of Sanaki Kolki and towards Kutaisi. Now, there is not an enormous amount of cover in amongst the mountains for the middle of the map, but once you get into the funnel area in the center here, there is plenty of scope for dodging missiles by... You can't wait to see how the F-15 changes things up. Oh, it's going to be great, isn't it? Fortunately, the servers have recovered. These F-18s are sticking together in a tight combat formation. Let's see how far everyone is away from each other. I'd say 83 nautical miles, probably too far for anyone's radars to be picking anyone up. Formerly, the first person to get eyes on anyone in this kind of situation would more likely than not be the JF-17, which is currently cruising at 33,000 feet. However, the JF-17's radar was recently given a little bit of a downgrade. Still very capable, and with an excellent quality data link with the assistance of the AWACS systems that are available in this mission. The group stages for SATAC have access to AWACS, but once it gets into the knockout rounds, then you have to do it with players. Now, it is policy, if anyone brings an F-14, we don't have any F-14s today, but if we did, the Rios would have to be players as well. The JF-17 with extremely capable SD-10 missiles as well. Some people definitely prefer them against the AIM-120Cs. I would say that formerly, about a year ago, the SD-10 was unquestionably better because it had better terminal INS guidance. However, the AIM-120's INS guidance modelling has been upgraded as time has gone along. And the two are relatively even Stevens. Everyone's kind of got their favourites. So, the southern group here for SPQR is continuing along the eastern track and is probably searching hard as they can for anything to be showing up on the scope. Are the teams pilot limited or player limited? Airframe limited. Airframe limited. So this southern group would be peering cautiously at their radars and beginning to realise they may not be picking anything up, whereas this northern group is getting well within detectability range for these two separate groups. We have the J-11 with ECM pods spearheading the approach for TMC, and I don't know if this is intentional or not, but if it is intentional, it's very clever. We have TMC Kingston, who is the closest to the hostiles at the moment, who with his ECM pods undoubtedly switched on, as the rest of the team progress behind him. So I can only imagine that with the jamming that's going on Kingston's pods at the moment, I doubt that SPQR can quite make out particularly Maury and Geralt and who have we got next to Maury here? And Tail behind him. So we have some extremely clever use of ECM, which is probably making a nuisance of the SPQR radars, but at the kinds of ranges we're talking at the moment, I have little to no doubt that they know something is out there. The southern group for SPQR probably beginning to realise now that they are not seeing anything up there, and their friend in the north is probably telling them that we are getting some ECM contacts coming from the northeast. Though it doesn't look like anyone's vectoring to intercept just yet. The F-16 has elected to bring a lightning pod. Now, you might wonder why I bring a targeting pod. You can use a targeting pod to lock onto people, and we have a missile? No, not a missile, of course. It's just someone in front of him. Everyone's still hovering around the 30,000 foot mark with no one going particularly low. I thought it was a missile, but it was just Assassin's F-16 who's gone without the lightning pod. Is the F-16 limited in what tanks it can bring? No, I think you can bring all the fuel you want, and in fact, I think that Alpha Gator has already dumped his centerline fuel tank, so he's onto his wings. But the real question is, what is the plan for TMC right now? Because if their plan is to sneak around the north of SPQR, they're doing a really good job of it. They appear to not have any real clue where they are. I thought they would have definitely picked up on those ECM contacts, but apparently not, or maybe they thought they weren't worth pursuing. Now, the entirety of TMC has decided to bunch up close together, and they are heading towards the north side of the circle, right in amongst the mountainous area. Now, I think, if you were to ask me, I think that TMC, having had brought the number of J-11s they have a distinct feeling that the J-11 being the Su-27 flanker derivative has a significant advantage within the mountains, and in which case, I reckon that they've probably elected to make this fight happen on the northern part of the map, where they can take advantage of this hilly terrain. Now, it's starting to look like we're getting some movement south for TMC, while SPQR almost looks like they're not entirely sure what they're doing. This is the right NASCAR so far, yeah. SPQR have all begun to turn north I think that the AWACS has told them who's going on and where, and in fact, I don't know if this is a fact, but considering they're all bunching up and heading off now, I reckon the AWACS probably just gave them a clear picture of where TMC is. So we have the whole group bunching up and attacking together. We have a much tighter formation for TMC, and SPQR is a little bit more scattered out, but it is in more of a column here. So they are definitely getting tactical, with Alpha Gator probably being the first one in range, and a very slight altitude advantage of 31,000 feet versus 26,000 feet. We've got some fuel being burnt down here at the moment. I think there is an enthusiastic desire to... Oh, and there we have our first launch. Like you said, we have an AIM-120C out in both directions. We have an AIM-120C from Alpha Gator, and we have an AIM-120C from Beanbag Ninja. Launch at the same time. As expected, Beanbag Ninja did bring the extra fuel so that he could go into Afterburner and give that thing the kinetics it needed to really punch it out. This AIM-120C is at 37,000 feet, going at 13,000 knots. Has it got track? Doesn't appear to. And how is our blue? AIM-120C, it's got altitude, but it's not got too much speed. We'll keep an eye on these missiles. I'm not sure if they have the Moxie. Yeah, this northern one. The SPQR missile, I think, has not locked onto anything except the side of a mountain, whereas the TWC missile is heading to a piece of sky with no one in it. So, 2 missiles in the air. They've launched their first shots of the match and have found no hits, and SPQR seems to be enthusiastically deciding that they want to go back. No more missile launches just yet, but we have the J-11s of Maury and Tail heading towards the collection of SPQR jets, and we have Praetorian at 36,000 feet in a JF-17. Now, the SD-10, I would argue, is definitely the missile in this situation, as opposed to the R-77, which doesn't necessarily have quite the reach. But it looks like the J-11s are definitely deciding to just keep a little bit of a notch going on with the conflict that's going on, and not necessarily committing too close. They want to bait them into these mountains, and they are going to do their level best to do so, as the rest of TMC continues in a circular pattern over the mountaintops, just begging, just inviting SPQR to come and tangle with them. And SPQR says, please come and BVR with us over here. We have AIM-120Cs, we have Hornets, we want to clean our wings before we tangle in the mountains with you. We're not going to fall for it. But can't just burn fuel all day long, so we'll have to see where this all turns up. Now, I did have music set up, but it appears to not be working at all. So we're just going to leave the music as is for the time being. I hope that you guys aren't too sick of my voice, because you'll be hearing a lot of it. We have Alpha Gator launching an AIM-120C F-16 at high altitude and high speed. It's got the kinetics to really make an impact here. But who is it heading for? We have... appears to be a track on Gibraltar Riviera's J-11, who is flying straight towards it. Hopefully he's ready to cut some shapes in the sky. It's flying over the head of the 2 J-11s. It would have had the kinetics to connect, but it looks like it's just decided not to go active. The J-11s get away scot-free. So, that's another AIM-120C lost. We have had an AIM-7 launched off the wing of... who have we got that launched that? Looks like Grug launched an AIM-7. I doubt that has the legs to reach out and touch anyone, but it is going high. What that would be doing is making the radar warning receivers of those J-11s go absolutely psycho, because they go all lights and sirens when the missiles go active, and if it's a Fox 1, then it lets you know what's happening. Have the distinct sense that the J11 and F-16 of Martini and Girolt are baiting here and trying to encourage SPQR. Meanwhile, this AIM-120C has decided that it doesn't want to fight and has taken up a life of pacifism and is currently heading towards the local nunnery so that it can atone for its sins. While this AIM-7P must be feeling very lonely in the sky at the moment, with no guidance in life, it will take the path that many people do with the same problem and probably find itself incarcerated and lonely for the next 2 years. We have AIM-120Cs off the wings of the Gopnik Tsar being launched against what appears to be tail in the J11. The further of the targets, but it's got good speed and it's got good altitude. We have 2 of them launched. We don't have that many missiles to play with. How is the range? We are within 3 nautical miles, the same 120. Can we spot whether or not it's gone active? Ooh. Does it have the legs? Come on, man. Countermeasures, countermeasures, countermeasures. This is going to be a close one. Oh, he spoofed it. Okay, and the other? Excellent, excellent dodging by tail. He has just given a... He's given a clinic on how to spoof a AIM-120C, and there we go. Dead with no effect. Now we have 2 more missiles out. We have an AIM-120C, 2 of them going. We have an AIM-7MH being launched. Probably just a distraction missile. We have that same AIM-7P just kind of toddling along. We have this one. I'm not sure if it's tracking. I doubt it has the legs, even if it was. No such luck. You are going too slow, and you are pointing in the wrong direction. Okay, so we have a few tired-looking AIM-120Cs. And this one's gone active in the most ambitious pull-up ever performed. I'm starting to worry about the state of the number of missiles that SPQR has access to, because they've launched a lot and they've got no effect. And I don't think that we've seen a single Fox 3 come off the wings of the TMC group. So how are we going? Yeah. Looks like most of the SPQR guys have lost a missile or 2. We have an AIM-120C coming out. He's going quick, fast, and looks like it's got a decent track on who are we looking at. It looks like Maury has found himself an AIM-120C to play with. But this is why they wanted to fight over the mountains. This is why they wanted to fight over the mountains. It was so they could do this. Maury, don't get cocky. Don't get cocky, Maury. I was going to say, missile might have not much energy, but it's got enough to make something happen if you're not careful. Don't fly into it. Don't fly it. Okay. Missiles. This has gone stupid. It's not happening. Maury is safe as houses. Continuing to put on a clinic of missile defense here. And it's starting to look like, now that SPQR has exhausted quite a number of their Fox 3s, that TMC is deciding to make moves heading south. And they're doing it all at once. I think that their plan has worked so far. They have baited SPQR into the mountains and used the terrain to attempt to get them to waste their missiles, their Fox 3s, all over the place. And with a exhausted arsenal and very little to show for it, we now have TMC, who have spent almost nothing of their equipment looking down the barrel of conflict. Maury really likes to trust the maneuver. I've seen him turn back into missiles and still dodge. It's scary how well he knows his energy. We've got Martini and Jarrett with Riviera. Looks like the two mercenaries for TMC are pairing up nicely with the rest of the team. Compliments to these guys for filling in for positions that that they needed people for. Looks like the altitude advantage is very much in the favor of TMC, with Assassin and Grug quite low to the ground and without much speed to show for it, so I'm not entirely sure what the game plan is here. I think there is a lot of chance for this getting down, dirty, and low on the deck within a moment's notice, and if that happens, you just can't mess around with the J11s, because they like it, that's where they belong. And they're still just hesitant to get out above these mountains. They do not want to get down into the valley with SPQR. And SPQR is basically just circling around the bullseye as if it's the objective. I mean, the outer circle, it does get smaller as time goes on. So, one way or another, TMC will not be able to... so that TMC will not be able to stay in the mountains forever. Fuel is going to be an issue this time around. Yes, and don't forget, we've got a missile launch, I was just about to say, an R-27ER, so that's a Fox 1, launched out, and we have an AIM-120C responding. Good speed, good altitude on both of these missiles. We've got another R-27ER and an R-27ET, so he's probably trying to disguise his ET launch with the R launch. Who was that? That was Kingston. Unfortunately, I don't think the ET will have the legs on it necessary. Actually, it might. We'll see. Meanwhile, these AIM-120Cs definitely don't have the energy to catch up with Kingston. I doubt it. But has the ET lost track? Well, the R is gone, but the ET... it does have good track. It's not going for the forbidden heat source, but it does not have the speed to connect. Meanwhile, these two AIM-120s. So, all you have to do is not fly into it. Fuel is going to be an issue this round. You only win the round if you have at least one player fly back to base and land. So you can't exhaust all your fuel in a suicide run. You'll live to regret it. This ET is out of gas. Not going to be an issue. To be honest, SPQR probably didn't even realize it was in the air. There weren't any countermeasures going out. So those ET missiles, you want to hold on to them. You want to shoot them when you've got kills lined up, because they are arguably the best Fox 3s in the game. But, well, Fox 2s, but let's see. We've got another ER heading out. Even though that these are just Fox 1 missiles, they do have good solid range on them. We also have an AIM-120 in response coming towards the mountains. I'm not entirely sure who the track is on. I'm not sure if it's tracking anyone. Doesn't look good. It may be tracking on Maury, but does not have the energy to force that issue. The R-27ER has lost its guidance, Fox 1 missiles. The radar's not telling it where to go. It will go where it wants to go. And I don't think that this missile is climbing up to 36,000 feet anytime soon. While even more of SPQR's Fox 3s just no effect. No effect at all. If they're not careful, they are going to run into a situation where they just don't have the weapons. Turn on name tags in F10. Oh, what is the keybind for that? Yes, I can. But I've forgotten what the keybind is. If you let me know, I'll do it. I think it's Alt-R. Control-R. But I'm too engrossed in the action at the moment. We have an R-27ET launched. And it's the top of the screen. Button looks like a speech bubble. This one. Perfect. Thank you for that. R-27ET in the sky. You'll have to be patient with me, guys. This is my first time casting DCS, so I hope that you're enjoying yourselves and it's not too cluttered and too scuffed for you. I'm having a good time one way or another. This ET has been launched with no good effect on target. And we have an AIM-120C, just kind of going back where it belongs. Thank you very much. Oh, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it so much. This ET is not going to be finding anything unless someone has the misfortune of flying into it, which I don't think is going to happen. So, no such luck. So many missiles fired and no kills so far. And we still have TMC just flying around in circles above the mountains. What are they waiting for? What are they waiting for? R77 out. Ooh, here we have the true trade of Fox 3s. We have an R77 launched. We have two AIM-127s coming out. We have a large altitude advantage. This R77 is going hog wild, but I'm not sure if it has track. Meanwhile, two AIM-120Cs going towards Kingston here at the moment. This R77, it may well have the energy. Oh, but it's not tracked him. It's not tracked him. That could have easily connected, but there was no track. What a shame. Whoops, I pressed the wrong button. So that R77 is sadly going dumb. These AIM-120Cs, they still have a bit of threat behind them. You'll have to... Oh, this is... TMC, I mean, these guys know how to stay right on the edge of the envelope of missile performance. They know exactly how far away they need to be to get these missiles to die. Like, no word of a lie. They know exactly how far they need to turn. Look at this closure rate. AIM-120Cs going dumb, less than 3 nautical miles away. Incredible, incredible. Another R27 ET. No warning coming out on the radar warning receivers for this one. We've only got a smoke plume to go off, so you really have to hope it has the legs to... Yeah, TMC knows where the missile is, particularly because they know where it isn't. Not sure if this ET is tracking anyone. I feel as if it's not. Look, TMC is just flying in amongst AIM-120Cs at the moment. The carcasses of the missiles they spoofed. The R27. It's got track on something, but it's just going too slow. Yeah. So... Now, there is a small, slim chance that it picks up this SPQR plane below it. It did cross the nose, but it looks like the Seek Ahead has had enough and is going to go home. Understandable. How's everyone going for missiles? We have DS player. He's still fully loaded. Well, actually, he's used half of his AMRAMs. 1 AMRAM left for Grug. 3 AMRAMs left for Assassin. Beanbag Ninja's got 3 AMRAMs left. 2 AMRAMs left for Tail. Gopnik Zars got 2 left. Maury's got never brought any to begin with. Okay. The question is, what is this coming to? Where is this culminating? Beanbag Ninja has to be careful he doesn't leave the zone if he's not careful. Okay. And SPQR still just happy to circle around the bullseye. I hope they're being conservative with their fuel. Looks like Praetorian has dropped his tanks. None of his SD-10s have been fired yet. He's waiting for the pivotal moment. But it looks like they are... You see, they're just going back to their safe spaces. TMC's like, come to the mountains, come to the mountains. And SPQR's like, come to the valley, come to the valley. No, you come to the mountains. No, you come to the valley. And we can probably have them keep this conversation going for a while. My current question is what everyone's fuel state is. I have no real way to tell. No real way to tell. But I can't imagine it is great. They have been burning it at a rate of knots. And a lot of them didn't bring an enormous amount of fuel to start off with. That being said, the plane with the biggest internal fuel advantage is definitely the J11 in this situation. The J11 carries an enormous amount of internal fuel, and so long as you're not just, you know, choking on the burner for plenty of time. So maybe that's their tactic. Maybe TMC knows that if they just goof around and get SPQR to keep laying on the burner, getting them to dodge their R27ERs, they might just get them to run out of fuel. Viper has legs more than you might think. We have an AIM-120C out from DS player, bringing him down to 1. Hopefully he's confident that that shot is going to connect. We have an R77 in response. Massive altitude advantage for Kingston. That AIM-120C is going to have its work cutting out for it, even getting up to the appropriate altitude. Meanwhile, this R77 has nowhere to go but down. SPQR seems a bit slow to regain altitude. Well, they just don't have the fuel to burn their way back up there. Kingston is happy to fly away from this missile, which I would say does not have the legs to reach out and touch him. This is why you want to have the altitude to play with, but this R77 is also slowing down, and I do not think will connect with DS player unless he makes a really big mistake. But he's laying on the burner. He's laying on the burner. He obviously feels like the threat is palatable. He obviously feels like the threat is palatable in this situation. The R77 is gone. DS player, get off that afterburner. You don't have the fuel. And that AIM-120C, like every AIM-120C launched towards SPQR, is going to turn itself into a crater on the side of a mountain. All we've achieved so far is a small amount of redecorating amongst the mountains of Georgia, but we've got the Gopnik Tsar flying low in amongst... Ooh. Now, TMC has laid the trap. They have said, come into the mountains and fight us. And Gopnik Tsar says, yeah? You reckon you're that good? So, he's come down here to tangle with them. And he's going to be doing a flank, looks like, to the west. Has he got... He's still got 2 AMRAAMs left, but obviously feels like that he can support the tangle down here. And we've got a pincer maneuver happening between all of them. We have half of SPQR going to the east, and we have the rest of them going to the west. We have the JF-17 providing top cover with its SD-10s, while we have a handful of people sneaking around right in amongst the mountains. So we will see how it all goes. AIM-120C splashed. Still no splashes. Kudos as well to the mercenaries that showed up to help out with TMC. They're doing an excellent job. And Beanbag Ninja has launched against Praetorian, and Praetorian has responded the favour with SD-10s and AIM-120Cs being traded in both directions. I would say that the SD-10 is the bigger threat, and we've got an AIM-120C going out against the J11. Is it tracking? Is it tracking? It is! Chaff, chaff, chaff. No! Bad luck. He's down and out. We have the first kill, and it is a TMC plane. And an R27ET with no effect. Just going wild into the sky again. You see, you can invite them into the mountains with you, but if you can't back up the threat, then why are you doing it? Got him. Getting spicy now. It's all happening, I know. This is when it all has to happen. We have an R27ET. I don't think these guys are noticing the fact that they've got an SPQR jet right in amongst the mountains coming up, and they'll have data link knowledge that they're just about to pop up from underneath them. This SD-10, has it got any legs left? No, no connection expected there. This ET, is it going to connect? It's threatening, but it's been spoofed by flares. Excellent flying. Masked himself behind the mountain. Gave it a more appealing target. We've got an AIM-9 launched up. But does it have track? Ooh. It does, but it doesn't have the legs to pull back up the threat. We've got DS player. Down here in the mountains, we've got a very aggressive AIM-120C shot against Assassin. And it's got the legs to hit him. He's going to have to find some terrain to mask himself behind, but it's not easy when... Oh, there it is. It's not easy when the cloud covers at this level. Chaff, 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 chaff. Oh, that is close. That is close. We have another AIM-120C shot against Assassin as well, who must be feeling very stressed and very singled out in this moment in time. He hasn't got a convenient bit of mountain to hide himself behind. Unless he can hit it right on the tip of this mountain, he would have spoofed the radar for a second there. And it's gone dumb. Excellent missile dodging there. And I think I just missed out on a missile on hitting the second mercenary. So Geralt of Riviera is right in amongst it with DS Player, as he has lost his buddy in the mountains. We've got an R27ER shot out against the JF-17. Chances of that connecting are low. We have Geralt of Riviera currently feeling very stressed as he is surrounded by evil. This is all falling apart for TMC. They had an excellent showing, but it's getting... Geralt, no! Toss a coin for your Witcher! Ah, he's gone. Geralt is dead, as SPQR now has the challenging task of not team killing each other. We have 3 left for TMC, and SPQR has only lost 1 of their friends. Palms are sweaty. Kingston, Mori, and Beanbag Ninja must now be feeling very stressed. We have a short-range AIM-120C shot against a target who's flying too high. Too high. You have become a target. And we have an ER coming in against... No, it's just not happening. It's just not happening. The Gopnik Tsar has masked himself against the terrain. There are 2 left for... There are 2 left for the TMC gang. And whilst I thought that they might be falling for the trap that was set for them, it looks like they themselves have become the hunted in the mountains. This AIM-120C shot is looking promising. Only Chaff can save you now. But it's not happening. R73 shot, short range, but it impacts the mountain. We've got a J11. Gopnik Tsar is trying to make the most of the last bit of fighting that he's got in him. Oh, it's a merge! Check this out. Who's got the beggar maneuvering? He's got no R73s left. He's only got R27 ETs. And on top of that, the SPQR jet is right behind him. He's going to become intimately familiar with some weapons, if not some AIM-9s. That AIM-9M did not track fast enough. That second AIM-9M did not track fast enough. Come on, get him with the gun. He's... Put the nose on him and kill him! Kill him! Put the nose on him and kill him! Come on. Come on. It's the coup de grace. He's got no energy. Oh, he's pulling off. He's pulling off. You need your buddies to come in here and give you a hand? Come on, you could have been so cool. Please tell me. That is looking almost as if that's going to be... Ooh, that was so close to being a team kill. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it looks like DS Player has decided that he wants to have a go against the last remaining J11. Everyone's like, who's got weapons left? I've got weapons left. Well, can you shoot down this J11? They're like, okay, and then they all miss. Come on, man. Come on, man. Missiles flying by all over the place. Gunshots happening, and there goes the wing. And TMC has unfortunately lost control of the skies, and SPQR has shown that they are the kings of the first round. But they still need to land. They still need to land. No time for celebrating. And hopefully you guys don't team kill each other. But you guys have done it. SPQR have won the day and are doing an excellent, excellent job. You can do the TAC view while they're okie dokie. So, while they're returning to base, and unless anything goes majorly wrong, we can have a quick look at the TAC view, if I remember how all of this works, because I downloaded TAC view today. And I think this one. Just give me a second to get everything set up. Surely, surely, surely. What am I looking for? I have accidentally opened about 300 TAC view windows, and they're emptying out their munitions as they head back home. You guys are all done. You can go back now. You need to land. You need to go land, guys. Okie dokie. Well, looks like they're going to return to base. We can't count the matches won until they get back on that runway. And what am I looking for? Does it matter if they land at a friendly or enemy base? I don't know, but I think they want to land at their own base. Geralt of Riviera. Let's hope they land as well as they fight. I mean, it's easier said than done some of the time, but looks like they're all slowly making their way back home. Okie dokie. While they're doing that, I'll go back to the spectators and just talk to you guys for a hot minute. We'll rely on them telling us if any of them become a red mark on the... Looks like my TAC view didn't save that clip properly, which is annoying. Or, in fact, I need to wait for 10 minutes to pass before the TAC view is visible. So while I'm doing that, I'll go into the special settings. Overlord 1-1 lands for TMC, then that's a win, right? We'll see. How you going, FX and Ian Max? I'm sorry I can't read out the follows and on subscriptions and all the rest as they go along. I would if I could, but I can't. Editor icon style, Russia, units, Imperial metric, GFX simulation, labels, cool. We're looking much better now. Very exciting stuff. Does the plane have to survive the landing? Certainly you'd want them to try. But with a bit of time, I'm sure they'll find a way. Is our TAC view available just yet? The playback is its file. Right. Okay, we need to wait for a little while for the TAC view to expire in the meantime. I'm just going to go get myself a glass of water. So I'll be back in 1 second, guys. In the meantime, there'll be more SATAC to come. Hope you're enjoying yourselves, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'd absolutely love to play DCS more, but I've got nowhere to put my joystick that doesn't kill my wrist to use. It's the ongoing struggle. It's a difficult one. Let's see how... Red is returning to base. And my TAC view files are not working, so... it looks like the 10-minute playback delay is not cooperating at the moment, but that's alright. We'll go back to the game screen and make sure so I get comfortable in my caster chair to see what's going on. And we're going to go to here. Imagine not just suffering through the pain and ignoring the long-term damage it does to your wrist. We have SPQR coming gently back to base. You have it set on top of your desk, and you have a pretty high desk and a low-sitting chair. Oh my goodness. This guy's going to have to do pull-ups every time he wants to pull up. But that's alright. What have we got going on? Just checking that everything is saying what it should be saying. As this F-16 Block 50 approaches the SPQR runway. This is a good opportunity for everyone to show off all of their skill, not just in fighting, but when it comes to flying. See if you've got what it takes to butter the biscuit. Sit on blankets? There's a trick to it, that's for sure. I'm always curious about those guys who have the side stick set up as if you're in an F-16. They have it down by like their right thigh. I mean, you don't think about it. Those F-16 pilots are they're almost kind of lying on their back in there, like a racing car, F1 car. Time for me to judge F-16 landings? Yeah. But I don't think anyone can judge SPQR at the moment. They came out swinging, and they earned their keep with, I think, only having lost one of their compatriots. Said pull up, not pull out. Oh. True F-16 sims need 30-degree bucket seats, yeah? I wouldn't know. I think I'm too tall to fit inside of an F-16. The reflective paint of the SPQR. It doesn't matter how gaudy you are, as long as you've got the skills to back it up, and they definitely said they've got what it takes. The F-16 stick doesn't move like a normal stick. Yes, it does not. In fact, most side sticks don't move like traditional sticks do. They have, more haptic push to them. But everyone's heading back home. Everyone's heading back home happily as we wait for the TAC file to generate. Gop is at 6k. He's doing his own thing. Oh! He's run out of fuel. Hey Gopnixar, how you doing? What happened here, buddy? You had a little bit of a tough one? It's not necessarily your runway. Oh yeah, put down the flaps. Yeah, yeah. You're gonna get out, buddy. Where do these bullet holes come from? He didn't want to fly back home. He's had enough. There was some tough flying he had going on up in them hills. A little bit too much afterburner and afterburned himself into the ground. Can't blame him. Needs to lie down. Put on the parking brake. Yeah, true. Request rearming. Request refueling. Copy. Copy. Ground power is now connected. Would it possibly to take him fuel IRL? Yeah, I'm gonna have to walk down the street and get him some fuel. Gopnixar is having a tough one. He's gonna have to go in the back and pick up one of them little jerry cans. And you know the jerry can is massively overpriced if you actually buy it at the petrol station. Just a plastic bottle, but it contains like 30 bucks. Ground air supply is now connected. But he's looking around like he doesn't know what happened. He's like, oh shit. He's been hypoxic this whole time. He doesn't know where he is. That's okay. Something in his plane is still turned on. I'm not sure what, but I'm sure it's fine. This is the derivative of the Drewski J11 strat. Yeah, but usually when Drewski lands a J11, like, on a civilian road, he doesn't lose most of a wing. And we have a loose SD-10 that has decided to... Ooh. It's another one of them fucking balloons again. I knew it. I knew it. Dark Brandon is having his return. This is the last thing a spy balloon ever sees. I remember Elon Musk saying that this was hard, apparently. Yep. ST10's in space. Will be the name of my next album. Where are you off to, buddy? Oh, it's going back down. You're going to have to hope that the battery on that Seeker head doesn't last long enough for it to reach terminal velocity going back down again. It's currently at... Am I reading that correctly? 189,000 feet? Where's the curve, man? Oh, there's the curve. I guess we can see it. Yeah. He wanted the forbidden heat source. Oh, can you tell that I do not have Spotify Premium? You're in fact reading that. Once they go slow enough, they diffuse. What happens if they start going fast enough? I'm liking the fact that this SD10, whenever it gets enough speed, wants to go back up again. Like halfway to space. Yeah, man. I'm just listening to the radio at this point. What the hell is going on? How much does Spotify Premium cost? I don't know. I've never used it. I don't listen to music. Want a break from the ads? Spotify Premium. Okay. How are we looking? Who's going in first? Looks like Grug might be taking the lead on the landings. Yeah. Yeah. Some Georgian fisherman is going to have the worst day of his life as bits of SD10 come from space. I mean, what are you going to expect to happen? Terrible, terrible. The more I look at this SPQR livery, the more I like it. Vene Vidi Vici, which I think means good times, good food, good fun. Do you reckon Veni Vidi Vici back in the SPQR days was equivalent of like having live, laugh, love written on your walls? Like, do you reckon fashion influencers back in Roman times would be like, oh look, it's got the Vende Vici Vici. Oh, there goes an AM7. Hey Gopnik, how you doing? I saw your landing, it looked good. I congratulate you on your excellent performance, and your team did an excellent job. Had you on the ropes, but I think you guys got back, but there's more rounds to come. Chilling here on the side of the mountain. Let's see how Gopnik's doing. You just vibing? Yeah, buddy. Looks good, dude. We'll leave you there. And the rest of your team... Oh, here we go. It's an F-16 landing. Hey, Tiger. How you doing? Tiger was the host of the previous match. Did an excellent job. I'm going to have to go back and watch his VOD to see how it ended. Okay, okay. A little bit buttery. Why is it SATAC 2022? Because it is. Dunno. And more of SPQR coming down. The trick here is to not slam into your buddies. You give it a 10 out of 10. Jesus, that's more than you'd give me. And we have SPQR on 1. Looks good, feels good. Bit of a running meme due to SATAC 2021 being delayed and flown in 2022, hence continuing the offset. Of course, of course, of course. What is the 0 versus 0? It's the score. It's a best of 3. It's not 1 versus 0. It's 1... Yeah. And my TAC view file doesn't work, so I don't know what I've done wrong, but that's okay. It's TMC's worst pilot. Man, you guys did so good. TMC's missile dodging leaves. It's inspiring, to be honest. It's fantastic. Is that a wreckage down there? What is smoking? TMC's missile dodging abilities are fantastic. SPQR round 1. Excellent effort. And that is SPQR looking good, feeling happy. Everyone's fine. Alright. Alright. SPQR definitely earned their victory there, as they prepare to gently touch tips in what I believe is some sort of Roman ritual. They, you know, they got the wings up. They're doing donuts. They know what they're doing. They're about to go see if they can introduce themselves to the static props on the runway. There we go. Looks good, feels good. You guys might not like it, but this is actually what peak performance looks like. Is boys, this is beyond the understanding of any ordinary pilot. This is really just kind of how you expect things. I see they've got the convertible setup looking good, feeling good. Everyone's happy, and yeah, just flapping along. Least maneuverable F-18. This is peak Roman performance. It's good, isn't it? All right, we're going to go back to Air Show presenting. Thank you for the follows, guys. Thank you for the subscriptions. Oh my god, why is this happening? The scores are wrong. No! I did the scores wrong. I copy that. And I duplicate. And then I put 0. I'm a good streamer, guys. Don't worry. Try the TAC view, sir. I did. There's something wrong with it. Score. Right. There we go. We put that over here. And there we go. Now we have a score. Looks good. Feels good. Everything's good. You'll like it. I like it. Doing the Y in YMCA. Sounds good. What are we looking for? SATAC. And while we're in the middle of spruiking ourselves, I would say to you guys that don't forget that if you want more airshow content, a good place to get it is in my Discord. And if you like the sorts of aviation content that's not too serious, a little bit of good fun, and involves playing with anime eyes, don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Good places to get all of your airshow content as well. If you want to get a few extra likes on the train for SATAC, then I would highly recommend interacting with this tweet to get a few more eyes maneuvering around it, and make sure that we all take to the skies together and have good fun. And I don't understand why there are 40 likes on that tweet, but I'm not going to ask any questions. We are going to wait for the server to come back up and for us to join in on the action for round 2 of SATAC. SPQR versus TMC. And I say that if the first round's anything to go by, then we're in for a treat. You guys want to launch missiles? Okay, I'll let you launch missiles for a second. Okay, hey, give me a second. Let me set it up. Don't launch your missiles yet. I'll let you launch the missiles. I said don't launch the missiles yet. You have to wait until I set it up, and then you can launch the missiles, and then it's fine. Okay. Patience. You guys need to be more like You guys need to be more like high-quality doctors, okay? You need to just have a bit of patience. A bit of patience. There we go. We'll do that, and we'll do this, and... Stop. Stop. We're not ready yet. Okay, you can't see it yet. Fuck, I broke it. Hell yeah. Why is that happening? Allow transparency. There we go. Now you can launch your missiles. Launch the missile the moment you've got launch authorization. Now you can launch your missiles. Come on, let's get some missiles going. TAC viewers in 51st general chat. Well, how come it worked for you and not for me? Okay, what are we looking for? Ah, perfect. TACView files. Now it's time for me to learn how to use TACView live. Everyone's getting their missiles in, okay? Okay. And... does this work? Oh, that's not what I want at all. I want something else than that. I want this. Can you guys see this? So, here's some of the situation we had going on here. It was just a kerfuffle all around the place. The start was just curious. I mean, I'm particularly interested in TMC's ability to dodge missiles, because we have TMC here, Mori, who's about to have an AIM-120 launched at him. And as it flies off, they just dump altitude, pulling around about 9 Gs. Think your TACView screen size is off? I think my TACView screen size is off. Why is that doing that? Actually, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get rid of this. Yes. I'm going to do this. And back. That should be better. That looks better. I also don't have TACView Premium, so we'll add it to the list of things that I'm doing incorrectly. That should do it. Okay. Looking better now. We have Mori just evading missiles like it's no trouble at all. You don't need TACView Premium? Yeah. No, I don't. I don't. Hopefully everyone lets me know once the server's back up. Now, where is it where things get exciting? We have Geralt down here. Geralt was just in a world of trouble. Things were going badly for Geralt. When you have an AIM-120 with this much energy going towards you, I mean, there's no getting away from it. Martini was in a world of trouble there. No surprise. And DS player saying an AIM-9 to finish the job. Can they land in the circle? They penalised for doing it. There would be no reason to, but I guess you could. Geralt finds himself surrounded by 1, 2, 3 SPQR planes, all heading in at the same time. And it's a real question of whose missile's going to get there first. 1, 2, 3. And that's how you make sure that a J11 is dead. And we have the Gopnik Tsar cruising around down here. And he's having a close look at Kingston, who's busily firing missiles off but utilizing the terrain to their advantage in order to avoid the tracks of these incredibly threatening missiles. So the Gopnik Tsar emerges over the top with 2 of TMC's planes in front of him, both at not fast enough speeds, and has a world of opportunity. But when you get into these sorts of scenarios, you find yourself needing a lot of situational awareness, and here we have Beanbag Ninja, who's earned himself an AIM 120C. There's just no getting away with it in that sort of situation. And an SD-10 coming along. This is that Nurge that we saw. We had Maury dumping out flares, and we had the Gopnik Tsar, all tangled up in this ongoing engagement, both of them at low speeds. Low speeds. Fortunately, both of these planes handle fairly well at low speed, but, and that's an AIM-9, no track falls for the missiles. Another AIM-9, no track. It doesn't appear to have tracked at all. And Gopnik Tsar felt as if he had lined up the world's perfectest guns kill. Incredible that that didn't connect. Bad luck. Maybe he ran out of fuel or decided to leave it for his buddies in that situation there. But there is just no escaping this from Maury. Meanwhile, Praetorian, frustrated with... Yeah, check that out. Frustrated with Gopnik Tsar, decides, for whatever reason, to launch a SD-10 at Gopnik Tsar. So I'm sure they'll be having kind words to each other, and I don't know why this missile didn't kill Gopnik Tsar. But we don't look a gift horse in the mouth. But I'm sure they're in the locker room at the moment, angrily saying things to each other. Which, you know, is earned. AIM-7 from DS player coming towards Maury. Maury's just on bought time here. No luck left as... Ooh, now that actually did technically hit. I did not think that that was a proper impact. That explains what happened there. So this AIM-7 impact and splashes Maury just a little bit. Proxy fuse, I hardly knew her, I know. And DS player comes in, and the guns connect, and Maury is down. And that's it. That is as far as they go. Meanwhile, I wonder why Gopnik Tsar decided to have a unscheduled landing event. I think that our dear friend might have run out of fuel. I think the reality of the situation dictates that out of fuel. Okay, how are we going on the server side of things? Just checking whether or not everything's restarted. Not a bad landing, all things considered. I mean, he lived with a gentle landing on the hills of Georgia. Well, actually not that gentle. Not dead, but, you know, it's fine. But we can see that in the grand scheme of things... Oops, this strategic view is available. In the grand scheme of things, the TMC just wanted... They just wanted, the whole way through, they wanted SPQR to come and tangle in the mountains with them. And they traded all these missiles back and forth over and over again, saying, come over here, no, you come over here, you come over here. And then, ultimately, their plan did work, and SPQR did come to them. But you could see that the whole fight just came and went in waves. And SPQR was like, okay, fine, if you want us to come to the mountains, we'll come to the mountains. And they pincer maneuvered them. And at that point, it was just a disassembly from two sides. I think the pincer maneuver just completely disassembled TMC from both sides at the same time. And their plan fell apart just at the end. No dice. A good win by SPQR, well deserved. They did a good job with that one. And the SATAC server is back up, so I'll get myself reconnected. And we'll get everything set up and ready to go for round 2. Okay. I'm going to switch over to this scene. I'm sure I've broken. I have. There we go. All right. Let's check in with the teams. Has everyone gotten ready? Like everyone's queued up and just about ready to go. They've swapped sides. Is this from last year? No, no. This is 2022's one done in 2023. This is live and happening right now. And let me update the scene to say that we are on. We are looking for round 2. Refueling again. Ah, I see. So we have the same lineup as before, 4 JR11s. TMC is ready. Hot pit refueling on the runway. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Go, go. We have everyone lighting up and getting ready to go. TMC taking off from the northwestern side, and we have SPQR lining up on the southeast. Looks like we're seeing much the same in terms of loadouts. Largely the same sorts of things. We have tail with 2 R77s, 2 ETs, 2 R27ERs, and the ECM pods. We have Mori with 4 R27ERs. Ooh, that was a bit stressful. 2 R27ETs, 2 R73s, an ECM. Praetorian with the ECM pod, 2 fuel tanks, 4 SC-10s, and 2 PL-5s. Geralt of Riviera has broken his landing gear. I don't know how you've done that, but Geralt is coming along with 4 R27ERs, 2 R27ETs, 2 R73s, ECM pods, and a wheel, which is a rough one. Frame rate's a little rough. Is it? That should make things smoother. Yeah, speaking of making the ground crew and their keep. It is a bit rough, isn't it? I wonder why it's running a bit rough. Probably because I got a tack view on in the background. We'll close up tack view. Wheel down for extra air brake. He's obviously trying to wiggle that thing back into place. F-16 with 3 fuel pods, 4 AIM-120Cs and 2 AIM-9Ms. F-16 with 4 AIM-120Cs, 3 fuel pods, 2 AIM-9Ms. ECS does have some kind of memory leak in the latest patch, that's for sure. We have an afterburning red J11 for TMC Kingston with 2 R77s and 2 R27ERs and ETs, R73s. So they've all decided to go for the ECM pods. And the TMC Hornet has brought along 4 AIM-120Cs, 2 AIM-7s, and 2 AIM-9Ms with their custom skin, looking good. SPQR is largely bringing the exact same loadouts as they had last time, including DS Player with this loadout, which I just don't like. DS Player has clearly made the conscious choice here to annoy me with this. And, yeah. Asymmetrical loadout. Cool. Not that cool, but that's fine. You know, what you do in your free time's up to you. It's like, ugh. Alright. Yeah. How are we looking on the map? Are we approaching the Circle? The Circle, the ugly loadout. True Navy pilot. I know. It's dreadful, isn't it? So, we have the J11s and FA-18s approaching from the west, and the FA-18Cs of SPQR coming from the east. Now, I think TMC got bitten a little bit with their plan in the initial phase of relying on the mountains. I think it didn't work out quite the way they wanted, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not they elect to go for the same sort of strategy. The decision not to bring as many R77s as they're allowed to bring, I'm not sure about. I don't know why they're doing that. Maybe they feel as if the performance of the R27ERs, which I think have a good range, may give them some poking ability in BVR, but it's tricky to know. But the long and the short of it is that they've made their choices, they have their loadouts, and Geralt of Riviera fucked up his landing gear. So, you know, he's probably thinking to himself, why does my plane kind of handle like shit at the moment? And who knows? Just trim it out. Just trim it out. Just trim it out. And the Reds have entered the battle area, so they're in there a little bit earlier than SPQR. SPQR ought to get their skates on, but they'll be fine. First one into the zone is TMC Kingston, who is high and fast. Well, not that fast. I was going to say, he's at 41,000 feet and burning fuel like it's nobody's business. There is a clear statement of intent here, which is to say, I want to BVR. I want to launch a missile. 41,000 feet, 38,000 feet for Beanbag Ninja in Kingston. Tail is at 40,000 feet. Just hauling ass at high altitude. Maurice J11 is at 37,000 feet. Looks like TMC is taking the high altitude strategy for this one, which may pay off for them because the SPQR boys are going slow. You want to BFM? I think everyone wants to BFM. You got to earn your BFM. So there's roughly 10,000 feet worth of altitude difference between the two tides, and Red is in the zone much, much faster. They'll get the alert in just a second that the zone is contested, so they'll know that SPQR has literally only just entered the zone, as TMC is positioning themselves in quite a threatening spread at high altitude throughout the sky. BFM as a treat, yes, you can have a little bit of BFM as a treat. And SPQR enters the active combat zone. It's contesting the area. Okay, we should be getting our first AWACS calls coming in. Battle areas contested, so TMC is already a quarter of the way into the battle area, and SPQR has only just entered. We have Kingston at 43,000 feet. The definite intention here right now is to catch them off guard with some long-range shooting from very high altitude with these J11s. Looks like the Gopnik Tsar and DS player have decided to take the southern route and flank around the bottom. Still at 30,000 feet, while the large majority of the SPQR force is staying in a loose combat formation, heading towards the bullseye. Looks like Gibraltar Riviera and Martini have broken away to intercept their new SPQR friends, and they're about 75 nautical miles away from each other. Probably not far enough away to get a radar lock, but definitely close enough to hear exciting news from the AWACS. Meanwhile, Kingston has decided that having fuel is overrated, and that explains the ECM pods. They don't want SPQR to know how high they are. Okay, so the tactic here is clearly that TMC in their finger four formation are flying this high with their ECM turned on with the intent of making it a bit tricky for SPQR to tell how high they are, and they're trying to catch them off guard. I mean, if SPQR is not careful and they do not have their radars tuned quite right, they will not know that they're up this high. I mean, the AWACS will be giving them calls if it can burn through the ECM. But, truth be told, I don't know enough about the mechanics of the game to really be able to tell you whether or not having ECM switched on will be confusing Overlord 1-1, who's no doubt full of people in the back making panicked calls about what the Reds are up to. But we are fast approaching the merge, and Assassin gets the first missile off, launching an AIM-120C towards the southern group of TMC. The two mercenaries flying together to intercept Gopnik Tsar and DS player have earned themselves an AIM-120C for their trouble, which is high and fast. ECM should cause issues with the data link. That was what I expected. Now, this is another one of SPQR's quite exploratory AIM-120C shots. You're going to wonder if any of those will pay off. R-27ER launched against Assassin, who is going defensive against the long-range Fox 1 missile, which will need to have its link maintained. Meanwhile, this missile's going very fast. This missile's going very, very fast. You need to dump altitude. Chaff alone won't do it. It's going to be close, but I think he's had it. Yep. Bad luck. That's the first one down. We have lost Martini. Rest in peace. How cool. Yes, I'm commentating on a competition. R-27ERs launched against the SPQR group. Still need to maintain that radar lock the whole way through. I don't think anyone for SPQR has gone down just yet. Another R-27ER. So they're just sticking with the Fox 1s. Obviously, they think that the range of the Fox 1 missiles is going to... I mean, the ER does stand for extended range, but I don't know. It just feels like this is spraying out missiles with quite ambitious launches. Beanbag Ninja has launched an AIM-120C and received an AIM-120C in response. So that's being split across the sky. SPQR Assassin has launched a missile towards TMC Mori, and we have missiles going back and forth in both directions. R-27ER going towards Assassin. AIM-120Cs going towards Grug, but I don't think that track looks good. Yeah, that missile's gone dumb, no effect. An AIM-120C is going up against Mori and is at altitude, but may not be going fast enough. Mori's going to need to pull some shapes here. More shapes than that, Mori. Oh, rough stuff, Mori. That is tough to deal with. An SD-10 coming out against Tail. I can see where the strategy is starting to fall apart. If you're going to be launching R-27ERs in this situation, you really, really need to be dominating. R-27ET, has it got track? Looks like it's completely missed. Meanwhile, this SD-10 is... Oh, that's really close. That is really close. We have plane parts coming out of the sky. We have missiles flying in formation with SPQR members. This is chaos. It's all going in all different directions at the moment. More R-27 ETs being launched. ET followed by ER versus ET. This ET is going slow, but it might have the legs to catch up with Gopnik Tsar. Oh, it got him! Gopnik Tsar has been taken out. Bad luck. Okay, so finally a kill on the board for TMC. They're earning their keep now. A high-speed AIM-120C shot from Beanbag Ninja against Grug. Has it got the legs to meet him? He's going to have to pull some shapes to avoid this. Going down and losing altitude to get into the thicker air, and it looks like the missile may have lost track there. Okay, bad luck with that one. AIM-120C going very slow towards Kingston, but it's too low and too slow. ET heading towards Alpha Gator. Has it got track? It does have track. Is it going to fall for the flares? Alpha Gator is history, and Geralt of Riviera has got an AIM-120C coming for him. He's looking like he might be a little bit too... Ooh, it's going for tail. Okay, it's not the property of Geralt. That AIM-120C fired from the late F-16 heading for tail. And this once looked like SPQR's match, and then they had it slip through their fingers. That was good shots all round. Okay, I was quick to judge the TWC strategy, but it is falling into place for them. We have DS player right on the deck. We have Grug right on the deck. Actually, he's at 20,000 feet, never mind. Assassins at 28,000 feet. We have the TMC boys across all altitudes. We've got Geralt way down on the deck. Still got his wheel out, never mind. He's still getting kills. He's just not having a really good time. High-speed AIM-120 coming out from Beanbag Ninja against Assassin. AIM-120C against Geralt. It's probably tracking his wheel right now. Your radar cross-section has you no favors when you've got your landing gear down. Come on. Pump some countermeasures, man. Pump some countermeasures. You've got to know the missile's there. Ooh. He's got a wheel down, but he's got his skates on. That missile does not have the energy to catch up to him. Good dodge. R-77's launched against SPQR DS player. Missile's notoriously low range, and as you can see, it's run out of energy already. A second R-77 coming along from very high altitude from TMC Kingston against DS player. He was cutting shapes along the ground to try and make this one work. Is it going to connect? It would be coming from his left. He has to be careful here. And I think he got away with it. He is directly above Beanbag Ninja. Beanbag Ninja is directly above DS player. I don't think they even realize that they are flying directly next to each other. There we go. They're in the merge right now. We've got an AIM-120C off the rails. He's launching against the wrong person. There is a plane right there, my guy. They don't know that they're right there. And impact, who launched that? Tail covers up on Beanbag Ninja. We have an AIM-120C off the wing, heading towards Tail. Tail needs to cut some shapes. The only hope is notching this one. He's low to the ground, and he has lost it in the ground clutter. Good flying. Another AIM-120C coming out towards Beanbag Ninja. And has it got track? It has gone dumb in the ground clutter. Good dodges. Who have we got still in the air? We have Praetorian, Grug, and Assassin against Tail, Geralt of Riviera, Beanbag Ninja, and Kingston. We've got an SD-10 in the air heading towards Geralt of Riviera. Press F5 during a merge. I always forget that I can do that. This SD-10 looks like it's got good track. Geralt. Oh my god. Proxy fuse. Hello. Second time in a row. This time not a team kill that a proxy fuse has not necessarily made its impact felt. It was a close shot. Obviously, Geralt of Riviera's tyre being stuck out spoofed that missile's tracking system, and he got away with it clean. Look at that bad boy spinning. He knows what's up. And we are witnessing some very, very high-quality flying. Once again, kudos to Geralt and to Martini for being the mercenaries for this game. They are doing wonderful work. Another AIM-120C out from Beanbag Ninja against Praetorian, who responds with an SD-10. Praetorian has the altitude advantage. This AIM-120 is already at his altitude, though, and the JF-17 needs to cut some shapes right now. This SD-10 looking like it might have found someone to interact with down here, but it's gone dumb against ground clutter. What about the AIM-120? Has it got the legs? Looks like it doesn't. Oh, actually, it's going to be close. Okay. If you had turned right there instead of turned left, if you had jinked instead of janked, you might have earned yourself some trouble. An AIM-9M going against Geralt of Riviera. No! Oh my god, you're not going to get lucky twice, Geralt. Jesus, that one hit him right in the wheels. Now we're in a situation where I doubt anyone's got any Fox 3s left. We've got one left on Grug, who's going to have to make some work happen with it. We've got Kingston down here in the J11. He's got an R77 and two R73s, perfect for this sort of laydown work. AIM-7 coming off from the FA-18. Fox 1 missile, but it's good at these shorter ranges. Just keep the missile track going. He's going to disappear behind the hill, I think, and that track's going to be lost. Yes. Shame, too, because it would have had the legs to catch up with him. An AIM-9M coming against Kingston. Has it fallen for the flares? I don't think it has. But I don't think it has the legs to connect. Yeah, it's gone dumb. Kingston is safe. R77 in the air, but it's not tracking anyone. Beanbag Ninja is making his presence felt. He's got some weapons left and he wants to use them. He's launching all kinds of flares. He's got an AIM-7 and two AIM-9s. He's just launching preemptive flares at the moment all over the place. He doesn't really know if there's anything coming for him. He's just being preemptive, and you can't blame him. We've got a merge going on with these two guys. Missiles no good. Switching to guns. Too close for missiles. We have Grug, Beanbag Ninja, SPQR Assassin. Everyone's involved in the same thing. We have an R27ER heading towards someone. Needs a constant missile lock, but it might well have it with Grug on the wrong side of a mountain. Beanbag Ninja is being the bait here, and he's doing a good job of it. Both as Assassin and Grug were preoccupied as Beanbag Ninja is cutting shapes down in the mix. Down here, the R27ER, I would say, is spoofed, or at least does not have the energy to convert to a kill. Kingston's turning back in. He's got R73s. Good. Probably better than the AIM-9s in short-range engagements. Those things can pull incredible angles. Assassin and Grug are heading in separate directions right now. I'm sure that they're talking amongst themselves, thinking about what they can do best to support each other to try and survive this encounter. Oh, shit. And we just lost... we're going to have to check the TAC view to see what happened there. Because Assassin, I think, just become one with the mountains. Bad luck to him. Bad luck to him. We'll check the TAC view and see where exactly Assassin went and crashed. But Kingston and Beanbag Ninja don't know that he's not there anymore. Meanwhile, Tail wants to get this done. Missile away. It'll be difficult to dodge it. Has it got track? And victory for TMC. All they need to do now is land. Excellent, excellent flying. A strategy that responded dynamically to the SPQR situation. And a well-deserved victory for the TMC guys. Showing that, given a little bit of time to warm up, they can make their presence felt on the battlefield. Love that we're going into a third round. I know, right? These guys have earned it. Just hope that with all of that afterburning at high altitude, they've got the fuel to come back. Fortunately, they're relatively clean now, having had lost plenty of weight in missiles as they have flown back home. Beanbag Ninja's heading up. He hasn't got... Yeah, all he's got left is his AIM-9s. A hope and a prayer. There was a lot more payload on these wings when he came out here. R73 is just going wild in the sky. And everything seems to be chugging along okay for TMC. I have a glass of water because I spoke a lot of words too quickly and had a very, very good time doing it. I hope that you guys are enjoying yourselves. Don't forget that if you are enjoying my content and the content of SATAC, there is more to come. If you want to keep up to date with SATAC, then they have their own Discords and communities to join in. But if you want to keep up with me, then you can do a number of things, including joining my Discord and also following me on Twitter, where I create all kinds of predominantly DCS and flight simulation related content. Yeah, pretty non-credible for a aviation VTuber, but you know what? We're in defense of non-credibility here. TMC, Beanbag Ninja, Tail, and Kingston heading back. Talking about TMC, when asked, they said that the thing that they enjoy about competitive DCS is to work in a group and together through team effort win against major players in the DCS competitive scene. So they emphasize their reliance on each other. Kingston and Tail have both been in SATAC team. The majority of Kingston's experience comes from ETF from last season in Diamond League, and Tail gained his experience from AirTac and the number 15 Battle Axes. They have been in a major squadron learning the basics of aerial combat together with a majority of members in the squadron. So these guys have got credentials. They are real pilots. And they are some of the finest examples of DCS aviation that we have at the moment. Grateful to have them be part of the SATAC competition. Let's see if our TAC view file is working properly with this one. It may not be. So we'll see how it goes. I might need to get someone to send me the TAC view for this one as well, because my TAC view files are not doing so hot. Never mind. Kingston's having a good one. Excellent use of the J11s too. Personally, I would never have considered bringing the Personally, I would never have considered bringing the ECM pods myself. I would think that they just probably weren't worth it for the relative loss of two R73s. But you know what? They have demonstrated their use, and Anonymous has sent me TAC view file for round 2, so we can get a little bit of a look at it. And there we go. This is a much shorter track. Let's switch screens. Let's see if this works. And it didn't. Oh, it did. Hey. Looks good. Feels good. Cool. There we go. So, we'll wait until they land before we declare a 1-1. But in the meantime, we can figure out what happened. Now, the most important thing to remember is what happened to Assassin. I need to know what happened to Assassin. Is this just a case of getting a bit too excited? He's pulling 8.5, 9. I think that he just binned it. That's bad luck. Bad luck, Assassin. It's easy to do. In amongst this mountain fighting, you can easily forget just how many Gs you'll need to pull to get yourself out of a fight. And sure enough, that calculation was made, and it was made incorrectly. We've all done it. Anyone who's been doing enough flighting in amongst the Georgian hills will find themselves making an impression on the side of a mountain with alacrity. The choice of the R27 ERs. I just don't know. I need someone to tell me what it is about these missiles that just their effectiveness, you know? What is it about these things? Why not just bring more R77s? It's got the speed, it's got the range. Geralt launched against Gopnik Tsar. Is it just to force them defensive, or what? As you can see, it's kind of gone dumb now. No real knowledge of where it's going. The Riviera has just launched another ER. Which, now this is the curious thing. So, to launch this ER, he would have had to have broken the lock that he launched that ER on. And that's just curious. Just maintaining the lock in these BVR situations is so dangerous, you know? The ER has got tons of speed if launched correctly and much more range than them. That was what I figured. That was what I figured. But I wasn't confident enough in my knowledge to say that as if it were plain fact. So there you go. The ERs have better speed and range, and they do. I mean, the ER does mean extended range. It's just maintaining the lock. Just a pain. As you can see, this one's gone dumb. Even though it would have had the speed and power to take out someone like Assassin or Alpha Gator if that lock was maintained, it still has the legs on it to keep going. Every one of these ERs just looks like a missed opportunity. Meanwhile, we have the ETs. Personal favourite of mine. I can't remember if this is the ET that actually connects. I know one of them does. Difficult to spoof these ETs, as they are infrared guided, as opposed to radar. So, if it is launched against Assassin, oh yeah, this won't connect, but if it is launched against Assassin, he won't have a clue, except for seeing it outside of his position. Breaks up the formation, forces them into the defensive, and allows the team to get into position and move in closer. That was very much what I've always used them for. Whenever I... oh, this SD-10 shot. That is a narrow, narrow dodge, but Tail gets away clean with it. Whenever I use R27ERs on the Su-27, it's not to get kills with, it's to force the enemy to go low and defensive. It's basically just a noisemaker. I just say, you're not paying attention, now you have to. And we have another ER launch. I think this is followed by an ET launch. It is. And this is the ET-ER combo that they use. This is the effective one. If you've got one guy being the missile truck, you can sit back and fire them off with relative impunity, while the rest of your team move in for the kill. Well, it worked for TMC in this case. They made excellent, excellent use of their R27ERs and made the pain felt. Oh, this wasn't the ET that connected. Now, just let me check how everyone's going on the landing front. I'm not sure if they're back to their airfield just yet. They're getting there. So while they're waiting to go back into their airfield, we'll just keep watching the skies as they turn and burn. All kinds of dead and dying AIM-120Cs filling the skies. I mean, you wanted BFM at the end of this fight, and you got it. Those AIM-7s, R-77s being launched in all directions. SPQR very, very much on the defensive in this situation. They are just desperately launching things. Now, this is why the AIM-9M... I don't know, AIM-9Ms, they can be unreliable a lot of the time. A lot more than you might think. And at anything longer than quite short range, they just they lose their speed, they lose their smart, they lose everything. Beanbag Ninja launching flares all over the place, but he's got the JF-17 and an F-18. He's in a target-rich environment. He's got an AIM-7M off the wing, but as you can see, break the lock, and it just goes dumb. Still, a good way to get someone to get maneuvering. Curious choice here. I feel like Grug could have made better use of his position that he gets in here, but I figure that as he crosses over the mountain, he may lose a bit of situational awareness as Beanbag Ninja disappears off to his left, or maybe he didn't have the weapons available to prosecute that target. Either way, he would have been in a winning position if he did, but kind of lost it, as Kingston comes over to cover his buddy here, and Tail comes along to help out as well. Okay, we'll go back to the team for the landings. Oh, classic. You see this? For every Su-27 pilot and MiG-29 pilot, this is your cone of shame. Because we all do it all the time. Popped tires. I do this constantly. The back tires of the Su-27 will pop at the snap of your fingers. If you wait just 1 second too late to pull back on the stick, then you're in trouble. It'll be interesting to see if that causes him any trouble, but it probably shouldn't. The pop tires are not a massive problem. You're still learning to land the MiG-29? It's squirrely. Everything I say about the MiG-29 is that it's a squirrely airplane, and it can be tricky. Okay, we've got a popped tire scraping along the ground. Oh, now we've got 2 pop tires. Well, I guess that's one way to make your landing a little bit more even. Is if you've got 1 pop tire, just hit the deck hard enough to pop the other one. And I am dropping frames all over the place again, because TAC view is open in the background. So we're going to do this, and that should be running smoother right now. Unfortunately for Kingston, those tires come out of his paycheck, so he's lost a significant amount of his winnings to tire fees. I thought SPQR had it too. I was ready to crack my fingers and say it's a toon game, one and done, but it's not, which tells me to at this 2-1. It is 1-all. TMC, tire might crumble. That's a good one. The Motley Crew. And that is a plane that has seen some fighting. Who have we got coming into land now? We have Beanbag Ninja, hopefully. Oh, look, he's got all 3 tires. I don't know what the Motley Crew has against tires, but one of them tried to rip them off on takeoff, one of them popped them on takeoff, and then popped the other one on landing. Beanbag Ninja is definitely going against the grain here at the moment by having all tires intact, but there's still time to break them. And yeah, you can see he's been on speed the whole landing. And that is probably the gentlest landing that I've ever seen a Navy plane do. The FCS of the plane is probably wondering why they're going so slow in the air, because... hello? Excuse me. What the hell have we got here? Okay, never mind. Oh, it's just a... no, you know, it's cool. Never mind. Whatever. Motley Crew's cruising. Gonna get me in trouble. And tail. Cobra-ing. All over the place. Now, if you want the real airshow experience, make sure that you plow into innocent members of the audience. It's all fun and games until you become a traitor. So we'll see if we'll see if he gets away with it. We're looking like Ryanair landing right now. I mean, he does have a drogue chute. Gonna try and make it work. 10 out of 10 if you stay on the runway. 1 out of 10 if you don't make it. Parachute, parachute, parachute. You've got a parachute. No, he doesn't even need it. Doesn't even need it. Cobra above the runway. Land, no drogue chute. Makes it look easy. Oh, and the server's restarting. I was about to say, I'm not sure if the server's restarting. Okie dokie. So, while the server restarts, I'm going to go blast piss all over the place. I'll be right back. Okay. So it's 1-1. And let's change this to a 1. 1-1 in round 2. So we have TMC and SPQR providing us with some wonderful gameplay and a great demonstration of the true capacity of DCS. I hope you guys have been enjoying yourselves very much. We've got one more round to go, and then we'll know who's the victor of the groups. I cannot wait. I am just having too much fun with all of this. I think these guys are just the tits, and they are killing it. Killing it. Killing it. I'm going to need a shower after this. I'm all sweaty. Actually, I don't think that's me. I think something else smells around here. I think someone's huffing a boof pack underneath my my flat window. SATAC. Cool. All right. Your rates. Your rates. What are your rates? And do you make exceptions for mates? We'll have to get the incredible laser pig out here, making sure that they learn what they do and don't need to do to be one of the finest MiG-29 pilots in the DCS skies. Okay. And the SATAC server is back up. We're going to get everyone formed up and ready for round 3. Make sure you stand up, stretch, get yourself a drink, because this is at the long haul. Interesting to see how people's tactics will differ between this flight and the last, but we'll see what they get up to. Let's switch screens and see what everyone's doing. Of course, we are in round 3. Looks good, feels as good. Let's see if we can listen to some Spotify ads. It's TMC. Start up their Su-27s. No, I'm not going to look at your air brake. Not again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You've been waiting for the tornado. You'll be waiting a while, but I'll tell you what, it's a very exciting plane. In fact, I've had the pleasure of being able to walk around and touch a tornado. They're very cool. Very, very cool aircraft. Round 3. SPQR and TMC are going the long haul. Once again emblazoned with Veni Vidi Vici, which I think is Latin for live, laugh, love, and forming up on the runway, looking to make an impression on the enemy. I have changed my mind and decided that I like these skins, even though they're very gaudy, and that's my opinion on it. JF-17s lining up, and our loadouts are much the same as they were before. Hopefully, our friend here, you see, he wants every drip of fuel he can get, so he's waiting to put on his externals to see whether or not to make sure there's not a drip of fuel from the external fuel tanks used up during the run. Let me know when you guys are ready. Great fights so far. Good luck. Cool. How is TMC looking? Are they getting queued up? They're getting lined up. Vene Vidi Vici? No, it's Live, Laugh, Love. Trans Am liveries from the 80s. Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah, you're right, actually. Knight Rider style. We're getting a control surfaces check from Geralt, who needs to be confident that all of his controls are working. What mission you're running? This is SATAC. 2 teams enter, 1 team leaves. The circles gradually get smaller as the fight continues, as these 2 teams battle head-to-head on the plains and hills and valleys of the Caucasus. Okie dokie. SPQR is ready. TMC is still lining up. But they're getting there. I'm not going to look at your speed break again. Okay, everyone's getting queued up and ready to go. Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, go, go. Okie dokie. We have SPQR taking to the skies. The first pair is off, the second pair is off. How is TMC looking? The boys are heading towards the circle. They've swapped sides again. TMC on the side they lost on initially. Hopefully that doesn't have any kind of psychological effect. And hopefully this time, Geralt manages to get his landing gear up. We'll keep a close eye on him. No pops. Let's see if both wheels come up. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a marked improvement. Geralt coming along with 4 R27ERs, 2 ETs, and 2 R73s plus ECM. Beanbag Ninja with 4 AIM-120Cs, 2 Sparrows, 3 fuel tanks, and 2 AIM-9Ms. Praetorian in the JF-17 with 4 SD-10s, 2 fuel tanks, the ECM pod, and 2 PL-52s. Maury in the J11 with 4 R27ERs, 2 ETs, 2 R73s, and the ECM pods. Tail with 2 R27ERs, 2 R77s, 2 R27ETs, 2 R73s, and ECM pods. DS player with 4 AIM-120Cs, 2 fuel tanks, 2 Sparrows, and 4 AIM-9Ms. With the double ugly setup, which I hate. And I'm not... You see, I'm not convinced about the 4 AIM-9Ms. I don't know if we've had a single kill happen with an AIM-9M during this match. I mean, it's nice to have, but to be honest, I kind of would have thought you'd want to bring another AIM-7. But, who's to say? Who else have we got? We've got the Gopnik Tsar with 4 AIM-120s, 2 AIM-7s, and 1 fuel tank, electing to not take the additional pylons on the wings for a little bit of extra performance, and 2 AIM-9Ms. We have Fresh in the Motley Crew F-16, 3 fuel tanks, 4 AIM-120Cs, and the AIM-9s on the wingtips. Ooh, you're meant to have the AIM-120s on the wingtips, not the AIM-9s. You're on the AIM-9s on the inner pylons, but I guess it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's to do with wing flexing. And here we have 4 AIM-120s, 2 AIM-9Ms, and 3 fuel tanks. They're instructed to bring specific loadouts. I mean, there are limitations on loadouts. And here we have another eclectic loadout, 1 fuel tank, 2 AIM-7s, 4 AIM-120Cs, and 4 AIM-9Ms with no AIM-9Ms on the wingtips. Which doesn't, I don't know, doesn't look great to me, but never mind. Kingston with 2 R77s, 2 R27ERs, 2 R73s, 2 R73s, 2 R27ETs. You get less drag by putting the AIM-Rams closer in. And the ECM pod. So, an ECM heavy loadout for the Motley Crew. They obviously deem the impact of ECM worthwhile, whereas the SPQR guys only have ECM presence in the form of the JF-17's jamming pod, which I think really people only take because why not? And in fact, I can't remember. Either way. The Thunder, not making a massive impression with the SD-10s this time. And certainly no action with the guns or the PL5s. Feels like the impact of the JF-17 has not quite been felt, but plenty of time yet in this match. And the F-18s are definitely doing the heavy lifting for SPQR, with the F-16s taking more of a back seat, I would say, as it seems to be the F-18s left over at the end, and the F-16s are riding the struggle bus a little bit, but there's still time. We have TMC about to enter the circle and initiate the conflict. Seconds behind them is SPQR. Blue has taken control of the battle area, with TMC being the first in. Beanbag Ninja is our man. Let's turn on all the name tags here. There's my little speech bubble gone. There. As we look at everyone getting moving. Battle area is contested, and the fight is on 80 nautical miles away from each other. It's time to do some aeroplane fighting. Okay, so what have we got going on over here? We have the Motley Crew cruising at high altitude in F-18. It's fairly standard for them. Nothing extraordinarily happening on either side. Looks like the battle is naturally drifting towards the south side of the map. TMC is not willing to try their tactic of getting stuck in on the top of the map again, but we will see how things progress. Leading the way for SPQR is the Gopnik Tsar, who's ditched his external fuel tank already. He's on internals. Gopnik Tsar has run out of fuel in the first mission, so obviously appears confident in his ability to make it there and back again with the internals. The F-16 does have some difficulty with BVR under these circumstances. The F-18 and J-11 have much more thrust than it, making it so they can chase it down, and the F-16 is harder to escape missiles in. Yes, it does feel as if the F-18s and J-11s are definitely making their presence felt above the 30,000 foot area, where they sit quite comfortably, to be honest. I mean, you can say a lot about the J-11. It is the size of your average building, but it does have the wing area it needs to stay up here, sitting comfortably at 40,000 feet like it's nothing. And we have Maury, Fresh, Kingston, Tail, Beanbag Ninja, and Geralt of Riviera. Have we lost Martini? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Where'd Martini? Did I get replaced by Tail? Am I getting confused? Fresh. I feel like Fresh might have been swapped out here. Hence why Fresh is in an F-16 with a Motley Crue skin on it. Well, Martini acquitted themselves wonderfully throughout the conflict and ought to be proud of their contributions. We're getting into engagement zones of around about 50 nautical miles, so people are going to start picking each other up on radar shortly. No doubt the AWACS have been banging away, keeping everyone informed with what's going on. And there is plenty to know about the situation in the sky. Okay. I'm going to turn off the grid lines for this one. And watch as these guys come together. Altitudes are largely the same. Fresh is probably the guy at the lowest altitude, dropping a little bit of altitude and speed. Not entirely sure why, but we'll see what the plan is down here. Probably trying to get as much speed as possible for an AMRAAM shot. About 615 knots. Quite comfortably passing the speed of sound. And there's the AMRAAM shot, just as anticipated. An AIM-120C comes off the wing, looking like it's heading for a assassin. They're going head-to-head this time. Yes, they are, meeting right down the middle of the valley. This is going to be a pretty gnarly fight. I think the chances of this AIM-120C impacting anyone up there is low, but this ER might have a bit more potential, as it is currently going 2,000 knots. Whereas this AIM-120C, sadly, never had a chance. Is this R-27 approaching the conflict area? Probably doesn't still have a radar lock, but we'll see. What they really want these missiles to be doing is getting the SPQR guys to drop altitude, and they have, with all three Assassin, DS Player, and Gopnik Tsar below 30,000 feet, while the entirety of TMC, except for Fresh, are above 30. So we have SPQR low and TMC high. But it looks like that SPQR is making a conscious choice to head for the southern mountainous regions. They're getting stuck in amongst all of this down here. And they want to be able to have that cover. I think they're realizing that they are not at the top of the altitude advantage here, and as a result want to have the option of hiding themselves among the hills, while this AIM-120C, I have no idea where it's going or how it ended up over here. But it's having a good time. Another R-27ER just poking out there, probably not intended to get a kill, in reality, just poking the SPQR guys and saying, hey, So don't forget we're here. We've got an ET launch against Gopnik, who has gone defensive and looks like he's completely spoofed it. A couple of flares and the whole thing's just lost it. If you get flares off earlier enough for R27 ETs, they just won't even bother tracking. This ER looks like it's heading for its intercept target, but it's lost too much speed. But with that being said, if AlphaGate is not careful... Oh, it flew directly above AlphaGate. There he goes, down below. But I don't think he was the... Pardon me. I don't think he was the intended target. I think this missile has gone dumb. Which is a shame, because it was in a good position to intercept both of those guys. We have ETs and AIM-120Cs. We have 3 AIM-120Cs launch against Mori here. Feels like that's overkill. We have 2 ETs being launched out. One of them's going for Gopnik Tsar at short range, but it doesn't look like it's tracking. The ER is going for him, but it's lost track. The AIM-120Cs making their way up towards Mori, who is cutting a lot of shapes in specific intent of defeating AIM-120Cs, and he has successfully done so. Lots of missiles fired, no connections thus far, with these AIM-120Cs presenting quite a credible threat, but all spoofed with the excellent missile defense of TMC. So, they got into a tangle for a second there. Everyone launched a couple of exploratory missiles, and then everyone's gone back to where their side of the fence, but these ETs have just been launched. Against what? Very ambitious ET launch, but it is at 30,000 feet. It may have the range. Hopefully, Praetorian will have the benefit of having the missile warning system, so if it's going for him, he'll know, hopefully. And it is skimming across the top of the clouds, but I don't think it has a track on anyone. These 3 AIM-120Cs, almost a full plane loadout's worth, not going anywhere. As Grug launches another AIM-120C, has he got the speed to be launching these missiles? He's afterburning like hell, but I don't think that missile's going anywhere. But we'll see. Another ET launch. ET's just not meeting their targets today, which is a shame, because they, in my experience, were really good. AIM-120C's not going anywhere. This ET, does it have track? No, it's way too high to catch anything up there. We have an SD-10 that is going wild, but I don't think it has the energy to connect with anyone up there, unless it's going for TMC Mori, which it might be. I hear noise. It'll be a big loss for TMC if this connects. Looks like it's just been dodged. Excellent. SD-10s, AIM-120s, all going all over the place. Gopnik Tsar had to go defensive against 2 AIM-120s launched against him. None of them connected. Mori is on the deck, dodging SD-10s with a rate of knots. AIM-120C at 7 nautical miles launching Grug, but Grug is completely cold and probably will be able to evade that. Kingston at 30,000 feet with 2 AIM-120Cs coming at a distance of 7 nautical miles. He'll have a hard time dodging that if he's not careful. Some chaff, some flares, pull some shapes, come on. Ooh, you need to evade more than that. It's a kill. Bad luck. So the first one goes down for TMC. They're going to be feeling the sting from that one. With all of the missiles launched back and forth, TMC needs to be getting result, but really they've just been forced down to really low altitude and shot at, which is unlucky for them. Beanbag, Ninja, Tail, and Fresh feel like they're just getting played with by Gopnik Tsar, whose luck may have just run out with the speed of this AIM-120C. If it's clever enough to connect, we'll see how he goes. He's turned cold and he's pulling knots, and I think he might have beaten it. It's going 1,000 knots, but I don't think it will have the legs to catch up with him. AIM-120Cs and R27ERs. Mori, have you got dumping chaff, and he's putting out the brake. Hopefully he knows he's got his brake on. And missile defeated. R27ER would have gone stupid. AIM-120C against Geralt of Riviera. He is at no feet above the ground, flying in amongst the trees. There's only real chance of getting away from one that's close. This AIM-120C going for Mori. Effectively dodged and notched by using chaff. That is exactly how you defeat missiles under those circumstances. AIM-120C is being traded back and forth by Gopnik Tsar and Beanbag Ninja. One of them defeated by the mountain. Is Gopnik Tsar's luck about to run out? Gopnik Tsar's luck has finally run out. He was almost daring people to test his ability to dodge missiles. He got away with it for a long time, but no dice. And it's a close-up fight. Oh, we've got... Oh, no. I was just about to say, we've got AIM-9Ms being launched off the wings. I was talking about them not seeing much action earlier, but just in the right circumstances, we had Grug launch off his AIM-120Cs, and of course he brought 4 of them. So he's got more to play with. He can take as many as he like. Looks like TMC's in a world of trouble at the moment, but they did clear out Gopnik on the south side, so they have some room to play with in the southern hills, as SPQR may potentially be trapped in a bad situation here. But with an AIM-120C and an SD-10 coming up against Fresh, he's going to have to rely on pulling some very good shapes to get away with this. You can see the missile, no dice, he's gone, and that leaves us with Tail, Geralt, and Beanbag Ninja. Alpha Gator and DS player, and Praetorian and Grug will have not the hardest time in the world, but that might be the last hurrah. Tail launches an R27ER, and it, in range, it does connect. Excellent shot, but does he earn an AIM-120C for his trouble? He does. Bad luck. Well, it was the last hurrah. This is a very, very difficult situation. Geralt, the mercenary, he is being made to earn his keep here. There are 2 planes directly ahead and above of you, guy. Come on, man. No, flare, missile. No, no, he's damaged. Is he dead? Oh, his radar's blown clean off, but he's still flying. I don't know what in his plane is still working, but it's not much. I think it might be time for you to go back home, my friend. Beanbag Ninja is the last of the TMCs still going, but with that being said, Geralt is looking to see if he can make something happen with whatever bits of aeroplane he's got left. I don't even know if any of his targeting systems may still be working, but if they are, I mean, he's got the R-73s, and they are definitely within R-73 range. But I feel like his flight dynamics are not agreeing with him at the moment, and I would suggest that if his infrared search and track is not working too good, then he's having a hard time. But he has found someone, and he's going to commit to the fight. He's going to go down swinging. I think Geralt, it has to be one of the MVPs of this match, really earning his keep. But I would say that his weapon systems may not be working under any stretch of the imagination, because an R-73 is well in range to kill both of these guys, who are really kind of letting him get away with it right now. Oh, and I just missed a missile being launched against the last of TMC's members. That looks like it's a victory for the Motley crew. Oh, but we've got an R-73 out. Is this the last hurrah? Geralt, is he earning his keep? He's launching R-73s, but they're both getting spoofed by... Oh, and there goes Geralt. No. Oh, and SPQR takes it. All they have to do is head home now and attempt to get the win. SPQR disassembling TMC right there at the end, but not without a valiant showdown from all the guys who did their absolute best. So, SPQR's got to go back home. The Gopnik Tsar, proudly wearing the badge that he managed to dodge around about 60 missiles. And SPQR finally pulled through. But I don't think TMC will be walking away from that feeling bad at all. I know that they had a bit of trouble getting their team together before the match, but when the chips were down, they had a really, really strong showing in... round 2. So, we'll wait for everyone to get back home and we can have a chat with them. Let me see. Let's see if I can get in touch with someone. This one here. That looks like it's the victory for TMC. Not TMC, SPQR. This is fun. You didn't think DCS had competitions like this? You didn't know that DCS had competitions like this? Yeah, it does, and they're really good fun. SATAC, TACT, and more. I am in the Discord for SATAC. Kudos to those casters like me. Oh, this is my first time. I hope you guys had good fun. Be sure to provide feedback if need be. And let me know what you thought as we watch SPQR head their way back home.
Hello.
Hello, Tail. How you going?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. I am, to be honest, quite happy about the result considering our outset today, so I'm happy.
Just 1 second. Let me make sure that everyone can hear you. Looks like they can. But, yeah, so here we have TMC Tail, one of the TMC members here, having a quick chat. Unfortunately, got beaten right at the end there, but a really good showing in the second round. What do you think? What do you think went wrong? What do you think went right?
Well, like to be honest, throughout this whole match, we were plagued about the fact that like we were 3 members signed up 20 minutes before the match, so we had to bring in some like really nice mercs helping us here today. And I reckon that we did a really good job considering the outset of the situation. But yeah, during the final round, what went wrong, I think, was that that like simple enough we like weren't aggressive enough. We like tried this aggressive tactic during the second round, and it yielded us really good results. So we wanted to like replicate it again.
The high altitude J11 strike using the R27 ERs to force them into playing in your terms, I think really hit home. And once you gave them the opportunity to take control of things in the third round, it became a little bit of a struggle. What was the playing choice between the J11s?
Well, like this competition, it is quite advantageous to like have the J11. It has a data link. It has firstly clouds as well, which makes the ETs a much more formidable missile. Plus the ERs for the nice long range. So like I am the only main pilot that that like flew the J11. Everyone else are like F16 or like F18 pilots. So like I just think we like adapted a little bit today, considering we went in with like no tactics basically.
Well, I must say you guys did very well. You flew your absolute hearts out and you fought like hell. You did really well, and you unfortunately didn't take it this time, but I'd say you had a great showing, and well done to all of you. Please pass on my congratulations to your team, and especially to the mercenaries who showed up to help you out. They really filled the gaps quite nicely.
Absolutely, we'll do so. They like really did.
Yeah, no worries. And we have someone else here. We have SPQR, the Gopnik Tsar, the missile dodger himself.
Oh,
you managed to have about half the missiles of TMC launched at you. Was that a stressful experience?
It was a little bit. Every time I looked out my cockpit, I saw an ET flying towards me, and that wasn't so fun.
Was that the deliberate choice? Were you the bait down there?
Oh no, not at all. I wasn't trying to be the bait, but that kind of transpired, and I ended up being the bait. So that's kind of how that went.
And what went wrong in the first round?
Well, what we wanted to do is we didn't want to fight in those mountains with TMC, especially when half of them were J11s. It's just not a good strategy. So we were trying to stay out and away from those mountains. Eventually, we kind of came to the conclusion, well, we got to do something because we're not going to sit here and burn fuel forever. So we devised a plan to split the groups and come in low, try and shift the battle at least, because it wasn't really going anywhere for the first like 10-20 minutes. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
So
And how did you end up on the side of a Georgian mountain instead of on your airfield?
well, I think I merged with 2 or 3 bandits, and well, to keep my speed up, because we were so high in the altitude range for the Hornet, to keep my speed up, I had to leave it on the afterburner, and that really just wasted a lot of fuel. And I did a zoom climb at the beginning, right after takeoff. I went right to 35,000 and then went to mill power, so I had to use some fuel there too. And I only brought the single tank. I didn't bring dual tanks because I like to have my Hornet a little more slick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I knew I wasn't gonna make it, so I was just gonna see if I can at least land it somewhere where I could.
And the decision, because obviously there was quite an asymmetrical matchup here. We had the F-18s against the J-11s. I don't know if you guys knew that they were in J-11s before you guys ran into each other. But in the F-18 versus J-11 fight, what do you think is your advantages and disadvantages?
The advantage, I would say, is just having an overall better situational awareness in the J11. I know it has data link, but that data link can be really limiting. I've flown the J11 and the 27 and 33 myself, and that can be very limiting at times. And the fact that depending on the fact that we're just slow, the Hornet is not a particularly fast platform. Even when you get it slick, I think the highest speed I hit was 1.4 after burning for some time. So it's really just the speed that kills the Hornet. But as long as you keep your head up and be vigilant, it's not like a super difficult fight against the J11.
Yeah,
and
no,
the fact that we got Fox 3s a lot more than they seem to have had is also an advantage.
Yeah. Well, I would say that you guys acquitted yourselves very, very well out there in the gorgeous liveries that you guys have for your SPQR planes, and you definitely made yourselves felt on the battlefield. The second round really spiced things up, and I think that that TMC caught you a little bit off guard with the high altitude work, which obviously the F-18 struggles a little bit with. If you were to approach it differently next time, what would you have wanted to do?
Well, I would say that it was actually in our favor there for a second, because the South group with myself and DS player, we were really pushing them in and trying to box them in like that. But it just really started to fall apart. I had, I believe it was Alpha Gator was pushing in by himself, and I had to get him to turn around. So there was just a lot of like small minor things we could have done differently, but I think overall the second match was good for us. It just kind of fell apart towards the middle when we were trying to really push the advantage.
Absolutely. Well, you have DS player literally just about to touch down and secure the win for SPQR, which will definitely see you in good stead for the rest of the competition. I hope that you guys take a good opportunity to congratulate yourselves for a job well done, and also to those in TMC. I hope that you guys all enjoyed yourselves enormously. Thank you for letting me cast your match. I hope you enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing what the rest of you guys get up to for the competition. Good luck.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. SPQR, congrats on the win here today. Really, really good job.
Well, TMC, thanks for putting up a fight. It's definitely a little bit different for us.
I think everyone can walk away from this feeling really happy. It was on the ropes right up until the last second.
Oh yeah, indeed. It was a really, really good fight.
Alright, I'm going to check out the TAC view, and then we'll wrap things up for the night. Thanks, guys. I'll catch you later.
See you later.
What wonderful guys, and what good sports. They did such a good job there, and they should be really pleased with it. And as TMC comes down and lands their last planes, we've got DS Player on the runway, we've got Praetorian. I feel like they've earned a little bit of attention on their landing run, don't you think? And, yeah. I love that, the whole way through. What a good job they did. They earned their stripes today. As these battle-weary planes slowly make their way back to home plate. As we watch these planes come into landing, I hope that you've enjoyed my coverage of the event. I encourage you all to, in fact, just let me update the scores. We have no flaps. It's the JF-17, the flaps are automatic. Cool. We have 2-2-1. Victory for SPQR. Well deserved and an excellent product of hard work and good flying. Now, who have we got left coming in? We have Assassin showing off, doing some patterns, pulling some shapes, and Grug coming along on the glide slope. How much flare do you want in your landing run? As much as you can get. Safe and sound. And we are just waiting for Assassin. DS players, take it back off again. These guys look good and they fly good. The F-16 has auto flaps, not the jet. Oh, I see, I see. Okie dokie. Now let's check the TAC view for the final confrontation. This is it. Perfect. And swap screens here. Looks good. Okie dokie. So the initial engagement was a little bit up in the air. I feel like TMC came out strong with the same kind of strategy that they had when they started the second round, where they were high altitude and high power and launching those ERs at a rate of knots. But I think they just gave away their altitude a little bit too enthusiastically. Too much time by far spent messing around with Gopnik Tsar over here. Too many missiles wasted in this direction that weren't going to connect. I think if there was a bit more active thought put towards the fact that Gopnik is largely down here by himself, just being a nuisance, then a group could have been split off to potentially engage and deal with him without running the risk of taking quite so much damage. But ultimately, the performance of Fox 1s is always a bit of a tricky one. I wonder what it was that finally got him in the end. It's like it might be an AIM-120, where his luck finally ran out. Fresh. Popped him. Yep, that's about what you'd expect. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Skizia, and I hope everyone else did as well. What we got going on here? Maury, out of altitude, out of options. Managed to spoof the first AIM-9. Second one, not going to get lucky like that twice. Grog, with every advantage in the world, getting away with it. Beanbag Ninja slurking around up here. Oops, I accidentally moved my playback control bar and I don't know how to fix that. Cool. Beanbag Ninja lurking around here. Very much on the defensive once they get to this point. And... oh, thank you, DS player. Well fought. You did really well. Launching some AIM-7Ms and just catching some Fox 3s for your work. Geralt down here. I think man of the match moment definitely has to be Geralt down here. Coming along. For presumably a mercenary, Geralt acquitted himself almost perfectly. Coming down here, down the slope, realizing that the entirety of SPQR is facing him down, taking an aim 9 to the face, surviving, and after getting his bearings back again, I think SPQR was like, oh, he's dead, and just kept on flying, and Geralt was like, I'm not dead, I'm still flying, it's good going. And he's wrestling with his systems, he's got half his radar blown off, he's barely alive, and turns in behind what must have been the most frustratingly perfect position behind these guys over here. Just being like, oh my god, if my plane was working. Nearly bouncing off the deck, coming along. It's like, I just want to kill these guys. They're all here. Every single one of them is here. Fighting. He launches an R77, R73. No luck. And then Assassin's just like, oh, come on, we have to kill this guy twice. Unbelievable. And that's it. All right, guys. Well, I think that's as far as we go today. I hope that you guys enjoyed yourselves very much. I know that I did. We'll probably call it a night after these fights, and we'll see who we can give a raid to, unless Technectinium, unless you have somewhere specific you would like me to send people. I might just raid someone playing some DCS. Or alternatively, we might just call it a night here and hang out. Don't forget, guys, I might just end the stream normally. Don't forget that if you like airshow content, you can get some on Twitter. And if you want to hang out with me and the rest of my community, talk aeroplanes and all the rest, you can join in on my Discord. Otherwise, I hope that all of you guys have a very good evening and you take very good care of yourselves and each other. No raid today, we're just going to end. So I will catch you all on the flip side and for the matches to come up. Thanks, guys. See ya.